rusty axe. Henry picked it up. Suddenly, an idea struck with his hands, and kissed her passionately. Sophia froze. That moment crashed and was destroyed, and both barely escaped drowning in the flowing water. And then, a large ship appeared in the distance. Henry and Sophia on the sand. They hoped a ship or plane would see it, but the sky was clear and silent. Sophia quiet. She was the sole heir of a very wealthy American family. Wealth, fame, and pride. She had it all. One day, she set out for a trip to the mountainous areas with her driver, Henry. Sophia was, as always, engrossed in her phone and style, while Henry silently drove the car. The road passed through a desolate mountainous forest. The weather was pleasant, but suddenly the car's brakes failed. Henry tried hard to control the car, but it went out of control and started sliding down the mountain. Sophia's scream echoed inside the car, and Henry's face was drenched in sweat. Within moments, the car fell into a deep ravine where a fast river was flowing. The car crashed and was destroyed, and both barely escaped drowning in the flowing water. The water carried them far out to sea, and after many hours, they washed up semi-conscious on the shore of a deserted island. Sophia was in bad shape, but her pride did not diminish. As soon as she sat on the wet ground, she moved away from Henry and looked at him with dislike, as if everything was his fault. Henry was wounded all over but silently sat close by, catching his breath. Sophia neither thanked nor complained. She just stared at the sky, hoping a helicopter would come soon and rescue her from this ordeal. Time passed. Evening came. Darkness spread all around. Strange sounds came from the forest, adding to the island's eeriness. Sophia tried to appear strong, but deep inside fear was eating her. Eventually, she got scared and sat close to Henry. Henry was sleeping. Sophia bowed her head and closed her eyes too. Darkness, silence. The morning sun began shining on the island, but Sophia and Henry's faces were tired and covered with dirt. Their wounded bodies and empty stomachs worsened their condition. Sophia's clothes were torn, and Henry had a deep wound on his arm. They stopped at an open spot on the shore and together wrote, "Help," in big letters on the sand. They hoped a ship or plane would see it, but the sky was clear and silent. Sophia quietly asked, "How many days will it take to get out of here?" Henry bowed his head and said only, "As much time as fate has written." As the sun rose, it started to scorch. Sophia's condition worsened. She yelled in anger and helplessness, "Henry, do something, I am very hungry." Henry looked at her. Fatigue and anger were clearly visible in his eyes. "You don't have money now, stop ordering." Then he got up and silently went to the sea. After a while, he went into the water and started catching fish with his hands. After a long time, he returned with a small fish. He collected some wood and tried to light a fire. Sophia silently watched. When the fish was grilled, Henry started eating without saying anything. Sophia, writhing from hunger, came near him and said, "I want to buy this fish." Henry gave her his old clothes and said, "Here, wash these. If you want food, you will work." Sophia had to bow unwillingly. Now the situation was out of her hands. The one who used to command till yesterday was now forced by hunger. Sophia ate the fish with pure hunger and gratitude, as if years of hunger ended in one moment. Henry, who always called her Miss Sophia, now simply said Sophia. And Sophia, the next morning the sun rose gently. Sophia stirred awake, her head still resting on Henry's shoulder. He blinked open his eyes and looked at her, surprised but silent. They got up, stiff and sore, and walked the beach together. Their help signs still marked the sand, untouched and unanswered. Henry sighed. "We need to survive. Hope isn't enough." He handed her a stick. "Come with me." They ventured inland. It wasn't long before they stumbled upon coconut trees. Henry attempted to break one open, slamming it against a rock, but the coconut wouldn't budge. In frustration, he hit it hard against a tree. As the sun dipped below the horizon, shadows stretched over the island. The quiet of the night was broken only by the sound of waves and the occasional rustle in the jungle. Sophia sat silently, still digesting the little food Henry had given her. She cast nervous glances at the dark forest. The pride she once wore like armor was cracking. Henry was asleep near the fire, his face calmer than it had been in days. Sophia hugged her knees, shivering slightly at a sudden, her head still resting on Henry's shoulder. He blinked open his eyes and looked at her, surprised but silent. They got up, stiff and sore, and walked the beach together. Their help sign still marked the sand, untouched and unanswered. Henry sighed. "We need to survive. Hope isn't enough." He handed her a stick. "Come with me." They ventured inland. It wasn't long before they stumbled upon coconut trees. Henry attempted to break one open, slamming it against a rock, but the coconut wouldn't budge. In frustration, he hit it hard against a tree. The coconut remained intact, but Henry's hand started to bleed. Sophia rushed to him, tearing a piece of cloth and carefully wrapping his hand. Their eyes met, silent gratitude passing between them. With nothing left to say, they returned to their camp with the unbroken coconut. The forest had given them another lesson. Survival wasn't just physical. It demanded partnership. The walls between them had begun to crack, not from pressure, but from trust. Suddenly, behind the thick trees, they spotted something. 2 coconuts lying on the ground. The night passed, but neither could sleep. Sophia kept turning in bed. Early morning, when Henry went to collect wood, Sophia took the opportunity. Her heart was a strange conflict: fear, freedom, vulnerability, and Henry's closeness. Sophia stopped, but it was too late. Henry caught her and threw her on the ground. Hearts pounding, breaths heavy, eyes locked. "Are you crazy?" Henry said angrily. Sophia averted her eyes, but after a few moments Henry cupped her face with his hands and kissed her passionately. Sophia froze. That moment was a storm of emotions, anger, and silence. Henry said nothing more, just held her hand and walked back to the shelter. On the way back, rain began to fall. Shivering from cold, Sophia silently sat in a corner of the shelter. Henry gave her his shirt. "Wear it, or you'll get sick." Sophia nodded and put it on. "Will you always be like this?" "I mean, not bad like I thought," Henry replied with a half smile. "When did you ever think of me as human in the darkness of night?" Sophia felt not helpless but safe for the first time. She knew this island had not only brought hunger and fear but had also begun a new story. They sat silently by the firelight, a silent bond forming between them. Inside lay an old walkie-talkie. "Maybe this can send a signal?" Henry said hopefully, but as soon as he tried to turn it on and pressed a button, silence. Sophia bowed her head in disappointment. "Will we ever survive, Henry?" While returning, under a tree lay an old rusty axe. Henry picked it up. Suddenly, an idea struck like lightning. "We can build a boat ourselves." They spent the day cutting trees, gathering branches, and preparing strong wood. The axe became their last weapon. Sophia was now working as an equal with Henry. In a few days, a small boat was ready. They joined the wood by rubbing nails heated by stones and made oars from branches. Finally, they boarded their handmade boat by the sea. The sea waves were ready to test them. Sophia looked back. The island, the memories, the pain, but now she saw only one person, Henry. And then, a large ship appeared in the distance. Henry and Sophia waved their hands and shouted. The ship stopped. A rescue team boarded them within minutes. They were taken to a nearby city hospital. Treatment began, wounds started healing. But now their hearts had another passion strengthened. Sophia held Henry's hand and said, "Maybe I didn't want to leave the island, because I wanted to stay with you." Henry smiled. "Now we will never be apart, Sophia."